topics?
Boom, boom. Oh my God. 119.4. That's what we've already drank today. It was got to be a 1.5 ounce of Grayson Texas blended bourbon whiskey.
And you've been looking forward to that all week.
I have been aged because, like we always talk in our podcast, we always say, or at least in the last couple of months, the higher the proof,
The better the bourbon.
has a tendency to have more flavor.
Well, it doesn't mean it's going to be a good bourbon, though.
That's true.
We're discovering that.
Yeah.
High proof does not equate, just like cost. The higher the cost does not equate good bourbon. It equates to rarity.
So
Wow.
does
That explains that private dancer menu list I received.
so so do we think a lower cost bourbon? Do we find a diamond in the rough?
Sure, there's some out there, like Noah's Mill. It's $50. I think that's not an expensive bourbon. I mean, you can get up to $100, $200, $300 for a bourbon.
Yeah,
Easy.
but there's actually not that many.
There's
At
more
least
than
at
you
Total
think.
Wine, there's not that many that.
Well,
are
there's
in
more
that
than you
range.
think.
Have
Yeah,
you guys
maybe not a
had
Total
the
Wine.
$100 ones, the 150? I haven't.
I haven't.
And,
But,
actually, that's not true. I have, but I have no recollection because I didn't have a palate for it, and it's only now where I'm starting to learn to appreciate different
Well,
traits of a bourbon.
You know what? That's what we should do because we're trying to be fiscally responsible, right? We're not going to be crazy and go out and buy $120 bourbons, but we should do, instead of all three of us buying a bottle like we normally do, let's all go in together on a really expensive bourbon at the same price, $150, $180.
like the Louis XV they have for $20,000.
Exactly what I was
The
thinking.
hell is that all about?
I know, it's so stupid.
It's
Anyway,
in a
but,
nice
but
box.
that's the ultimate test. If we open that bottle and we start crying,
Well, I
like
tell you
just
what,
bawling our eyes out because it's so amazing.
there are less expensive ways to try that. There's a place in town that has 100 bourbons. Now you're going to spend $20, $30 for a drink, but I'd rather
Huh?
spend $20, $30 than $200, $300.
That's a good point.
So we could do it that way. Each of us could get a different one to
Yeah,
try.
but the difference is that we have it.
Yeah, that's a good
Well, I
point.
know, but
too.
if we like one, then we go, okay, let's all go in and get this one.
Then we just put it on the seashelf.
Well, let's just make sure I'm not the one that picks it out because it'll be shitty. And then
Well, hold on. I support Paul on this.
I'm sure you do. Oh my God, you won for 10.
So Sean.
Well, I pulled the Paul. Look, this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
No, I was
Sorry.
gonna
so
say-
rude. You were about to say something rude.
So we hit a different liquor store
You can't read my mind.
this
Yes, I
past
can.
Friday, and they had different selections. They have some of the same, but they had some different selections. And Sean
Sorry, Kevin.
got suckered into the salesperson, and he got directed to this specific bourbon. And I'm not saying that it's terrible, but I think the way it was sold, it didn't live up to anticipation.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. What was that dude's name? Andreos?
Andrea,
The guy that was at
I never spoke to him. I
the
don't know.
specs guy. He was. I did. You were standing there when I was talking to him. Red vest. What a butt wagon. He
was-
really sold me on
no,
this.
time out. What he said was we were looking for higher proof bourbons. Okay, that was
he
the criteria we gave
Describe
him.
this bottle of bourbon, the complete
Yes.
antithesis of what we received. I mean, there couldn't be another polar opposite.
Meaning it was not good.
Yeah, so you have good and then you have not good, and this is
It wasn't.
not
It's,
good.
it's
in
not
the
that
middle.
horrible. It's not that horrible. All right, let's talk about it. Go ahead. Let's talk about.
Do
the
we
bourbon.
have the specifics, the specs
Well, I don't
on
know.
it yet?
Well, apparently it's a blend.
Well, it's a blend, but what Grayson, what the guy told me at the spec store,
Pull it up, Mr. Producer.
he said that Grayson Texas blended bourbon is blended with 3 major bourbons of Texas. So I don't know what those 3 bourbons are because he says I don't know what those 3 bourbons
So
are. I
the
don't
really,
remember 'em.
so you got Balcones, you have Garrison
Oh, no, he
Brothers.
did say that Balcones.
So you have
That's
Balcones,
one of them.
Garrison Brothers,
Did he say that, or you just
and TX.
throwing
Is
this
that
shit out?
Buffalo Trace?
No, that's Buffalo Trace is in Kentucky.
Are you just throwing that out, like
No.
the three Texas?
Well, the ones that I know of.
Oh, the ones you know of.
the ones I know of. Garrison Brothers.
Grayson, Gray, The
Okay,
color gray
so
Sun.
I know he
Texas
said.
blended bourbon.
I know he said Balcones.
Yeah, so Balcones is Texas, Garrison is Texas. You have TX, which is I think better known for their whiskey than the bourbon because we had their bourbon
Well,
last
and
week.
the whiskey was better than the bourbon.
Yeah, it was just the middle of the road.
No summer.
No summer.
No
And
summer.
I'm sure there's many others that we just don't know about yet.
Fail.
Oh yeah, well for sure. I mean, now there's enough bourbons
Oh,
coming
there's
out.
Iron Root. Is it Iron Root that puts us out? Go down, click out down there. The Iron Root down there.
All right, Grayson blended whiskey. I guess.
So there it is. So that is a Iron Root bourbon, and they are up in Denison.
Interesting.
And the Iron Root that I have was the one that won Bourbon of the Year on one of the things.
But it even
Okay.
came with the little Texas Forever little leather keychain wrapped around the neck of the bottle.
There, it includes Iron Root, Balconies, and 5 Points Distilling, the makers of Lone Elm Whiskey. I don't know that one. Maybe we need to look for it.
No,
So it's a blend.
I don't mean
well,
to
yeah.
dog it too much. I mean, because hold on, I'm gonna go back on what I said. It's not horrible at all. I mean, we've had horrible. I just think that this one, they were trying too hard to sell a 119 proof bourbon.
Yeah,
I think its sweet spot would be about 110 proof. You water it down just a little bit.
It's very hot.
it is hot.
But it makes a big difference.
Lone Elm. I've seen that.
Interesting.
I've seen that one. So maybe we look for that one.
All right.
Well,
All right.
I'm all for supporting Texas bourbons.
Oh, me too. Me too.
And I've noticed they are quite a bit different than the Kentucky bourbons.
wow, look at that picture. The producer's doing a great job. Look at that. He's like
Yeah.
Vanna White over there. with
One
that
nineteen
moss.
point four.
So this thing packs a punch, man. It's
It sure did, man. It's got me all hooped up.
yeah. It burned start to finish. And you know what's
Well, you
interesting?
felt it like in your lower abdomen,
Yeah, it started to work its way
Well,
into
when
my
you first
lower
cracked the bottle
intestines.
open,
into your duodenum.
Yeah.
Well, you
My-
know what? This poses a good question.
My what?
Are you when you
Here we
pop the
go
cork
again.
off? Are
Here
you
we go
supposed to
again.
let it breathe?
Your duodenum.
My duodenum.
Like wine, are you supposed to let this breathe before you consume it?
I don't know. Do you know what that word is, Paul?
Yeah, it's right underneath my percuniculum.
No, it's not a
Paniculum.
paniculum. It's
Perniculum.
duodenum. Anyway,
Duodenum.
That's how your butt when your
Uh-huh.
friend is farting and you're trying to chime in with him, you're doing a doo-wop.
duodenum.
It's, I don't think that's the same thing.
No?
It's the lower
Oh.
part of your intestines. That's what they call it.
Well, whatever
lower
that
part
is,
of your-
this
the
burn worked its
large
way all the
intestine?
way
Yes.
into that.
Yeah, the duodenum.
Yes.
Anyway, so I say so. We have an Iron Root out there. We have this one. Let's get the Lone Elm, and we have a Balcones out there.
So let's mix all three of them together and see if it's the same thing.
Yeah, 50-50,
Yeah.
all three.
Well, I see where they're trying to go with the whole Texas program, and it has merit. I just think that it was rushed.
I don't know. It just wasn't our favorite high proof bourbon. But you know what? Maybe we should give it another shot.
Well, it's below the shoulder now.
in the
Let's let it
We'll let it
sit for a
sit.
while.
We'll
yeah,
let it
let's let it
sit. We'll let
below
it
the
breathe.
shoulder. Listen to you.
But
That's-
look, here's
that's
another
nice.
thing. I really want to address the idea. Is it better to let a bourbon breathe?
I
Or
think-
are-
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with yes.
But if you let it, because once that alcohol evaporates,
It's gone.
it's gone.
Forever.
So are you supposed to capture it?
It's the angel's
And-
share.
Well, you like to burn your whiskey.
Yeah, what's
Well-
up with that?
Okay, so
It's a fast evaporation.
I know, but it's got to
no,
alter the
but
taste
it
of
doesn't-
your
it doesn't do anything
experience.
to the alcohol. All it does,
Sure
It-
it does. That's what's burning.
it actually, the fumes actually burn, not the alcohol.
Well, the
The
fumes are
off-gas.
alcohol.
Yeah, but it's the off gas of it. It doesn't change the proof of it. But what it does do, the heat kind of and mind you, I only
caramelizes it.
pop it in there for just a second. And I don't like you can't pop
Well, I bet this would be like a
the
freaking
lighter
rocket.
in there. It's got to be lit walking in there. So that it just gets you get enough to get the schnifter or the what is this
It's a Glencairn.
Glencairn and
Come on. The Cairn.
I think we've been over this
Glencairn.
47
That's
times.
Glen-
yeah, I can never remember the
Glencairn.
name of it. But anyways,
You got to roll
if you
the
apply
R.
a little heat to the bourbon, there are some notes in there you can't taste or smell
Oh, it
unless
does. It
you
affects it.
apply some heat. So that's why I burn it. The question is,
Oh,
why? That's why.
that's
I want
why.
to smell the whole thing.
Ah.
You know.
But if you notice, when we have these bourbons and we're sitting up here and they sit for 5-10 minutes and you go back to it,
It's different.
it smells completely different than when you first pour it out of the bottle.
It's true.
'Cause I think some of the alcohol evaporates.
That's true.
Although you proofed it down, you added some water. Actually, all three of us did, and we enjoyed it more
Yeah.
We did.
once we added some water to it.
As I threw it back.
Yeah, you did.
Gone.
All right.
You know what
All
though?
right. So that's what we opened with. That was the bourbon we opened with.
And then we jumped the shark.
And
We were
Sean
like-
Sean chugged his, so we kind of felt obligated to join him.
But
He shot it. So then Paul opened up his selection.
butt luge.
I
No.
did, and this one was Rowan's Creek. Rowan's Creek.
Queek.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
Did
one-
you say queef?
Queef? Rowan's Queef?
Creek. Rowan's Creek, Kentucky bourbon whiskey, straight, distilled, aged, and bottled by in Kentucky by Willett.
Willett.
Distillery
Oh,
in
yeah.
Bardstown, Kentucky.
Yeah, Willett makes
Very simple bottle. It's got kind of like an old school label.
looks like a
kinda.
map with the creek.
It does,
Kind of.
and it's kind of like a wine bottle. I'm not a big fan of the wine bottle look, but hello,
Yeah, it's kind of. I think they could update the bottle a little bit.
yeah. All right, so what did we think about this one? So this one,
I haven't tasted it yet. I
Oh.
put it. Actually, that's not true. I put a little bit in my mouth, but I wanted to. My process is different from you guys. I don't like to swallow it right away. I like to let it get in my mouth.
You
and-
swish it,
wow,
let it get in your mouth.
get
Mm.
in your mouth.
Yeah, get in my mouth. Swish around, make me happy. I want to create some sort of
Numbness.
well, I want to get at that bouquet.
It's an experience.
I don't want to be able. I don't want the throat taste right away.
The finish.
I don't want the back of the throat to taste it right away. I just need the front.
It's called the finish.
It's interesting. It's different than other bourbons that I've experienced.
Bum 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 bum.
We say that because
Happy May the 4th be
because
with you.
Jeff's wife has entered the podcast room and she is sampling the bourbon and she looks fired up and ready to roll.
Oh,
She
my
ripped
God.
it out of my hand.
She did. Wow! And now the German Shepherd's jumping up on the table.
Lady, get
I
She
think
wants
down.
bourbon too.
This is wheels off right here.
Oh,
She's
wow.
going back for another sip. She must like it.
Oh, okay. So this bourbon is
Easy.
what would you say?
Yeah, she really liked. What was the one we had last week?
I don't remember.
Oh shit, I don't remember either.
God, it's probably out there somewhere.
It is. It
Well,
is.
we had TX bourbon.
It is out
It
there.
wasn't that one.
What else did we have last week?
Oh, we had the receiver for
No, it was not.
We had.
It was not
we didn't have
Novacek.
J Novacek.
Yeah, okay.
84 proof.
Okay.
We had it at your house and abandoned it, and you
Oh.
brought it over.
Yeah, we were just like,
you just left it in the garage.
sorry, this didn't make the cut.
Wow.
Kind of like you.
Whatever.
Actually, he retired, so
So
he
rude.
made it cut every year. And you know what? No disrespect to Jay Novacek, mucho props. But I
So
think
hold on. At Specs, there was another bourbon that was sponsored
Bradshaw.
by. Okay, Bradshaw.
Bradshaw had a respectful one. I don't.
Now we didn't buy that one.
We didn't, and but it's a stock. It's a stock bourbon, but this one's 100 proof, I believe.
Oh, Terry Bradshaw.
The Bradshaw bourbon.
Bradshaw bourbon. Okay. All right. Well, we got to give that a
Bradshaw
try.
whiskey.
All right.
It's Actually, we haven't tasted it.
Well, what a
And-
treat.
And I asked them
Yes, we have
to
a special
if, and they
guest.
said they don't give out samples yet because of COVID.
We
Dude.
have a unexpected guest participant in our podcast tonight. Welcome to the microphone. Put your hands together for the one, for the only, Julie.
The boss.
The boss.
Mhm.
BOSS boss.
So here's my question. When I came in,
Paul's not gay.
okay, so when I
I'm glad
came
you
in, you said, may the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Correct.
I was brought up Catholic all day in my mind
Mm-hmm.
and also with you.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal.
May the
And,
fourth be with you.
And also with you.
you know what? I get that. I grew up Catholic. I could
But they
see that.
changed it.
It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, now it's Latin.
No, they changed it. They
E
changed it
pluribus
every couple
unum.
of years to keep you in check. Because when you're in the church and they're going through the whole, and then you're like, and also with you, and then you're doing
You
that.
know
and
the
it's
person
completely
who-
changed it.
You
and I'm
know,
like,
You
when
know
did
the
they change
person
it?
who has not been to mass
Yeah.
based on their response
You
to
know?
certain
So
Okay,
those Catholic
so-
people
so-
that frequent church, you know that they change.
Yes.
You know, there's the priest, and then there are the folks out there listening, and they chant. They go back and forth with the prayer,
Right.
and when the public responds, and you don't know what they're saying,
You
or
say it wrong.
you're reciting something from the
I-
like, dude, that was from version 2.1. You are a jackass.
we
Okay,
are
so okay.
we are in version
So-
9.10.
So I experienced that. So I grew up
9.10.
Catholic. My wife and I were both Catholic for a long, long time, and then we went out and found a church. Okay,
Is it non-denominational?
non-denominational.
Correct. Yes.
Anyway, so so one of my best friends' mother passed away, and so there was a Catholic mass and funeral service. So
Right.
I went out there, and it was after they had made the change. Right, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't put two and two together, and here I am in the church, and I'm like, and it was refreshing to me. I was like, oh wow, you know what? Back to my roots. A little kid, I was like, and a young adult, and all of a sudden I started exactly what you guys are saying. I started saying the wrong things, and I was like, okay, that was weird. Why did everybody say something different? That
I
was
feel
really
like an
strange.
outsider.
Okay, and it kept going, and then I was like, oh my God, have I developed dementia? I was like, I wasn't sure if I had dementia or had
Hold
a,
on,
had
hold
a
on.
stroke.
Did you just fart?
Who, Paul?
What are you talking about? I'm
Paul was
telling
telling a good
The
I'm,
church-
church.
the
I'm
dude 4
telling a
feet away
heartfelt
from you
story right now.
Just shit his pants, and you're not going to allow him opportunity to own that?
Well, how do you know that happened?
Paul,
The
I was
seismic
too
movement
busy
over here.
listening to what you had
well,
to say.
thank you.
I know, me
it was a
too.
heartfelt
And,
story.
And a little bit distracted by the
By the
this
bright lights.
screen
I
changing
got you.
behind
I got
me.
you.
But
The
I
blood
had
of the
you.
martyrs.
Anyway,
is the seed of the church.
honestly, in the middle of that mass, that funeral mass,
Yes.
I was having a panic attack. I was like, either I have dementia, I had a stroke. I wasn't sure what the hell was going on. I didn't.
Well,
I was
sometimes
saying
now they
everything
sit.
wrong, and then it hit me. They changed the mass.
Sometimes they sit instead of kneel, or they stay standing instead of
Oh,
kneeling.
in the new? Are you talking about in the new procedures?
Well, I think like 3 versions ago they changed something.
Yeah.
Now you do the Karate Kid crane move.
Yes. Yeah. We're about right before the homily. Everybody, lift your hands and lift your legs. Okay. Wow.
But all day,
Wow.
and also with you.
And also with you. Well, good. And I know Sean's a huge Star Wars fan, so he went around probably harassing everybody today. May the fourth be with you. May the fourth
well,
be with
no,
you.
You
he-
would think, but I
he was
didn't.
doing the Vulcan hello.
That's the funny thing.
I did.
So
Spock.
Is that another May the fourth be with
No,
you?
that's
No,
Star
it's
Trek.
not.
Exactly. What are you talking
That's
about?
what I'm saying. He's
I did.
He's,
There's a
he's
few. There's
cross
a,
pollinating.
there's a core
You
group
can't
of
do
folks that
that.
I communicate with Star Wars.
So here lately, every morning, my
Okay.
assistant principal sends out an email. Here's the duty schedule.
Okay.
Duty.
Oh.
And they're usually pretty good.
okay.
Oh,
They
boy.
do have to be somewhat school appropriate because it is sent out through school email.
Right.
So no
but-
penises.
But we don't have no.
Oh, nude.
So we don't have students today. So he didn't send out our morning schedule. Woohoo! But it gets to be like 10 and then 10:30 and there's been no acknowledgement of what today is.
Oh, so you guys panicked.
So you did it.
So I send him an email. The subject, disappointed. And all I said is, you have not yet acknowledged today.
okay.
So he sends out an email, subject, disappointed.
The power of suggestion.
It
Right.
was forwarded. My email was forwarded,
Right.
and he said, I didn't acknowledge the day. And of course, he sends the one that I
The Star
showed you
Trek
this
one?
morning. It's a stormtrooper laying down on the ground. He's been shot by Spock, not Spock.
No,
Who's the
Kirk.
other?
Captain Kirk.
With
Captain
Princess
Kirk.
Leia
With
on his
Princess Leia
Yeah.
in
That's
her
totally jacked up.
in her
May
in
the
her
fourth be
Jabba
with
the
you.
Hutt
I'm not gonna lie.
Gucci
When I
bikini.
looked at that, I was confused. Totally confused.
Look at the one over there on the right. He's holding Kirk.
Darth Vader's got the
So
the grip
basically-
around
That's
basically-
that's so
Mouth.
jacked up. I love it.
Pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, it was this one, but with the actual. So it's Darth Vader wringing somebody's neck,
Right.
hands on.
Choking him out.
Post-COVID,
You were social distance.
social
the Force.
distancing. It's Vader just holding
Just
out his
pinching.
Right,
fingers,
using the Force.
pinching.
Right. Using
Yes.
the Force.
It was actually pretty cute.
Yeah, that is clever.
But
Star Wars is not cute.
again,
Star Wars
All
is
day.
Disney's Plus came out with a new
The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
and also with you.
I watched it at lunch today.
Bad
Did you?
Batch.
I haven't seen it yet.
What is
It's
that?
kind of like, I don't know. I watched the trailer on YouTube while driving to Fort Worth today, and
Hold on. I was told today that Disney edited out Doctor Strange from WandaVision.
Why?
Okay, we have a couple things to talk about with what Disney's doing at Disneyland in California.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going to
Because
touch on that too.
doctors-
We're going to touch on that too. So
because
hold that
doctor-
thought. Hold
Good
that
nose.
thought.
Cinderella.
Hold that thought because we're going to talk about
well, we can
multiple
launch
Disney
right
things.
into Disney if you want.
I think we need
Well,
to
you were
launch
about
into
to say
Disney
something, I think.
because A,
That's
I
all right.
need food, and B, I don't have a beverage. And the water you tried to hand me, Sean, doesn't cut it.
Is the incorrect kind of
Yeah,
beverage.
well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just being
That's
nice.
Well, go get the
I
food.
know it.
It's
Because
really
you need
good.
fire water.
fire.
Fire water.
All right.
Okay, I don't
What
really
the hell is he
understand.
talking about?
I don't understand the monkey
I,
thing.
I don't get the whole fire water thing.
So
Fire water
what I
means
do-
alcohol.
look, what's going
That's
on with
very
Disney
potent.
and the
The
Dr.
Disney World.
Huh?
No,
Dr.
it's
Strange.
Disneyland.
this
Whatever.
is important.
Okay,
It needs
all right,
to-
all right. So this is what you were talking about.
This is what
All
I
right,
was talking
so Doctor
about.
Strange,
So
who
has
happens to
been-
be a white male.
Has been edited out of WandaVision because he is a white man.
Well, I could have told you that. What is WandaVision?
Why?
I don't even. I don't watch Disney. Sorry. Uh-oh. We have a exit stage left because I don't know what WandaVision is. Well, who can enlighten me?
Well,
What is
WandaVision is
yeah.
a Marvel.
Hold on. For the
Marvel-
record, I've never heard of WandaVision.
Ah!
WandaVision.
Woohoo!
Who was the character in Iron Man that had the stone?
Oh, that
You-
guy.
The
You-
robot guy.
Apparently, you've watched it, but you don't know what it is.
WandaVision
And it's got
Vision
the
is
Scarlet Witch.
Is the God blessing it's the TV
guy from
broadcasting
Ultron.
station. WandaVision. It's a broadcasting station for that show that was on Disney Plus.
Oh, I see.
It was, man, I'll tell you what, I muscled through that.
Oh, so you
It was
watched it?
extremely painful.
Really? I haven't watched
was.
it yet.
Well, they edited out Doctor Strangelove because he's a white male. Did they say they did it because he's
Yeah,
a
but
white
there's other
male?
white
Surely
people in
not.
there. What the hell?
Maybe there are too many. The quota was thrown off.
No, I'm thinking they edited him out because he wanted royalties.
Written out after, set to appear, original, blah, 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 taken away. Okay, so they're not saying it because he was a white male. It was because of something else. But of course, they can't.
Probably royalties.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Because
don't know.
look, everyone that
You know what? I don't give a shit about Disney. to
So
be
there it
honest.
says right there. We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie. Here's the white guy. Let me show you how much power. How
Oh, okay.
power
So it
works.
is legit.
Yes,
So they purged a white guy because of the optics of it.
correct.
That's cool. Racism is. They're right. I think this country was.
Racism and sexism is cool for as long as it goes our way. Right?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I don't think this country was
look at the
was
photo gallery on
founded
the
on.
bottom.
I don't think there's systemic racism that this country was founded on, but I think it's here now.
No, it is.
Full blown racism is going on now. How about that?
You know, I don't think it is. I think that you just hear it all the time, and I think it's falling on deaf ears.
Because people want their Disney. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, people don't give a fuck. There are
Yeah.
are racists out there on both sides, on every side.
Every side,
But
every which way.
what you know what some people are woke, some people aren't. So you know,
I'm not.
either you're
But
a
I think
jackass or not.
I think you're about to make a good point. We're inundated by big media telling us that this is what's happening and what's.
but there comes a point where you're kind of like,
But here's my. But I'm going to further your point. But this is still a minority thing going on, right?
Oh, it is.
The gigantic media is
minuscule.
But they're
I mean,
so
minuscule.
loud.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Twitter mob is very
Yes.
loud.
They're very
It's
loud,
a
and they're
1,000
tiny.
people.
and they're tiny.
It's 1,000 people when we have 100 million people over here who oppose it, but they just don't voice it.
100%. So we need to stop giving it. I mean, I know the media shouldn't be giving it merit, right? Shouldn't be giving it a voice, but they are because they support it, and we need to ignore the media. Period. Just we need to shut it off.
Well, we do. Most of America does not. Actually,
I-
the media.
I think there's a lot that do.
I think they do.
I
But-
just don't think that they're being heard.
What's the viewership of CNN,
Bad.
ABC News,
Bad.
CBS News?
Bad.
How many people actually watch that
I
these
don't
days?
think that many anymore.
That's
don't
what I
know,
mean.
man.
So who is consuming this? The people that complain.
And who is the champion of all this stuff, right? The Hollywood. And look
Correct.
what happened at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, ultimately, that's what the
That
deal
was
is.
crazy.
They
Oh,
went
there was
from 23
a
million
70-something% drop.
down to 9.8.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that dude.
people
that tells,
are
that tells
honestly
it all.
tired of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean,
I know I am.
it's look, and plus LeBron James, and look, this is just a slice of people getting tired of it. They're
I-
kind of like,
Did you
come
hear-
on, man.
I think the
Enough's
woke
enough.
people are tired of it.
No, they're not because they're getting their way.
Oh, they're just getting started.
They're getting their way. It's everyone else who's tired of it. Did you see the cop who mocked LeBron James
Yes.
got suspended?
There was
Yes.
a bunch that mocked him.
No, but this guy he had a
Was it
video
on
out there.
TikTok?
Yeah, well, I
Yes.
saw it on TikTok,
I saw it. It was great.
and it was fabulous. It was great.
He was pretending like he was having a conversation with LeBron.
Yeah, he goes, "Oh,
About-
you want me to do this instead of whatever he's
Yeah.
supposed to
It,
do?"
it was funny. And he got suspended,
He got suspended.
but his friend started a
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, and it's over 400,000 now.
Which is a lot more than he makes
Oh, for sure.
anyway.
Yeah, that's like probably
And here's the cool part. Sorry to interrupt you, Jeff. Here's the cool part. He's planning on donating. I don't know how much of it. He didn't say if it was all of it or some of it, but he is already planning on donating it to different law enforcement groups.
Fallen officers.
Yeah,
probably.
whatever. Yeah, whatever. Law enforcement related groups. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that actually is a really good story. It's nice to hear something refreshing like that.
Yeah.
Especially
yeah, there
it
is right there. It's actually
All
very
right, pipe
funny.
it in.
It's very
Marshall's office internally dealing with Idaho's.
It starts out with him talking out the window, and he's saying something. He's saying something to the effect of, "Can you put down that knife? That knife, please don't. No, don't stab that other person." And he goes, "Hold on one second." And then he takes a phone call, and the phone call is supposed to be from LeBron. And then he's like, "Yeah, we got a situation where somebody's, and
He's chiming in directions.
yes, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Love
they're
the
not
sound of the
no, they're not going to
background.
let you play it, but anyway, it's okay.
Why would they let him play it?
It's big media.
Oh,
It's
they're-
Google.
they're
It's
just-
YouTube.
Yeah, they're just not going to let you play it.
They're going to say how wrong he is.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you view the whole
Are
thing
you,
anymore.
So-
really? They Google broke that up?
Well, no, all the news people, they're not going to play the whole thing for you. I'm sure they've hidden the actual video or made it very hard to
You
find.
should be able to go to YouTube and just find that video and play it.
You'd think.
Yeah, you think so. But anyway, so
Look how many
so
browsers.
LeBron came out with an apology to the attacker girl. Like
So the one that's dead.
no, yes, the one that's dead.
The
to
one.
to her family. He said I distracted the attention away from where it should have been, basically type of thing, which was should have been to the girl's family that the girl that
He's
was
just
killed.
digging himself a bigger hole.
He is,
Yeah.
but I mean nobody.
Have you heard
I mean,
some
nobody,
of the
cares.
daytime show hosts that I forget one of the
The View.
I think it was on The View. Like I would have knife fights in our neighborhood all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's the big deal? It's just
Yeah,
a knife
what-
fight.
Well, yeah, why shoot somebody over a knife fight?
Oh God, I have knife fights all the time.
So
Oh,
dumb.
really? A knife fight? You've had a knife fight.
Yeah,
This was a butcher knife
yeah.
or a steak. What was it? A steak knife or a butcher knife?
The thing's about 6 inches long, so
Yeah,
it
it was a
easily
big
could have
knife.
killed her. And she was swinging. She was on the upswing, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, that officer reacted so fast and dropped her so fast and saved that girl's life so fast
Now, they don't talk about that.
was so impressive.
He
But
saved
they
a
said
life.
on The View, they said whatever that talk show host was, when she said that officer had 20 seconds to decide what
No, he
no,
did not.
watch the video.
No.
I know,
Brother,
but that's,
watch the video.
That's
No
what
way.
she is saying, and she's saying it on TV. This is all about the power of suggestion.
I know.
20 seconds, no.
And
No.
here's
no,
the other
not
thing.
at all, man.
When he makes the call,
He had like 2 seconds.
I know.
Not even that.
And when he makes the call to unleash the weapon, she is standing right in front of the girl, the pink girl that's about to be stabbed to
He
death.
could have killed both of them.
Do you know? Have I been? If I was the one shooting that, everybody in the neighborhood would be dead, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Bullets would have gone everywhere. He put, I don't know how many bullets.
It was a couple at least.
At least. And wow, accuracy and quickness
Well,
and
he's trained.
decisiveness and saved the
It's
girl's
called
life.
training,
Amazing,
but it's the incorrect training, apparently.
apparently.
He
Why?
should have called a social worker.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, they
How would a
talked about that.
social how would a
All right.
social worker would have
Yeah,
fixed that?
We're
And they
beating
said the
this up.
social worker would be dead.
We're beating this up. So
Yeah, we are.
we all agree on it. In fact, I think the majority of the folks agree. There's only a small slice that don't.
So we're kind of getting back to let's get back to Disney. The whole Cinderella.
Oh,
Oh, I was going to ask if you told him about my eventful Saturday night.
Not yet. You can talk about that in a second.
is it Disney related?
No, it's not.
Oh.
All right, that's
Well, hold on. Were we talking about Disney?
Yeah,
Well,
we're
We'll go
talking
back to
about
Disney.
sexual assault when you're sleeping and someone kisses you.
correct.
Oh.
So
Oh
the
no,
Snow
sexual.
White.
I'm sorry, sexual violence.
yes.
Snow White.
Sexually
Cinderella.
violated you.
Yes.
Well, it's Cinderella or is it Sleeping Beauty?
I mean, I can see if she woke up with the glazed
No, it's-
donut
it's
face, but
Cinderella.
I mean, come on, he went down and kissed her.
Oh, what?
so Cinderella is asleep and the prince kisses her goodbye because he thinks she's dead.
Once
Yeah.
upon a sexual assault.
And
And guess what? She did not give consent.
and they are now calling
But
it
you know
sexual
what?
assault.
My grandmother didn't give consent for me to kiss her goodbye when I was at her funeral.
Sexual assault. You should be on the registry.
Yeah,
Sexual-
you should.
And
And you
it
might
was,
be now.
It was girl on girl.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
That's
well,
why it's cool.
that's
It's
different.
cool.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I
That's
would love it
cool.
if they were to post. Who's the organization that is complaining about this?
That's a great question. There is no organization.
It's
like
just
a
women.
couple stupid Twitter people.
It's just people on Twitter
Twitter people.
that have
Because
complained
people
about it.
stirring up
Yeah.
shit.
It's
Yeah.
It could-
they.
It could be 10 people. That's it.
I know.
But it sure is getting a lot of publicity.
And
It
they're
is.
going to spend $1 million or whatever to change the ride.
But you know,
they're-
that
you know
they
why?
just
But hold on,
spent
you
$1
know
million
why it's
dollars
they're
getting-
to
trolling
change.
us. They're
Yes.
trolling
Yes.
us,
Yes.
and we're reacting it, and we're talking about it. Let it
No,
go.
but more
Let it die.
importantly,
I don't
the only
thi-
reason why it got press is because Disney bid on it.
Yeah.
They're biting on it, and
Yeah.
they're changing their ride.
I don't think they're
They should have
going
ignored
to.
it.
Yeah, they
What
are.
are they
Aren't
gonna
they
do?
seriously? It's been closed for a year
Yeah.
because they were
Revamping
they
it.
just finished revamping
I
it.
don't know.
And that's what started it. Whatever the new
They wanted to make it a
Piece-
happier ride.
right.
yeah the
No, I
the,
understand.
the whole the from what I remember reading the whatever the new ending was how they
Right.
had Prince Charming come and kiss Cinderella.
I
Or
wonder what
Right.
the
I may
the
have
ratio,
my prince and princesses mixed
Snow
up.
White.
I wonder what the
Oh, it is
the
Snow White.
racial
It's Snow White, right?
Snow White, not Cinderella.
the
Yeah.
racial ratio or the racial
Sleeping Beauty.
of all the people that go to
It is Sleeping Beauty.
all the people that go to Disneyland.
No, it's Snow White.
How many people are white? How many people are black, Mexican? What is the how many denominate? I mean, I'd like to know, like, how many white people go to
Ethnicities.
Disney?
6.
How many? I want to know the percentages.
Damn, those are very fine-tuned numbers you have there, Jeff.
6.
6. Wait, no, sorry, 7.
No, I would be curious because they're always talking about
6.3.
But what
Disney.
difference does that make?
It's a white lash and it's an attack on white people.
Yeah, but
I'm kind of curious. Do more white people go to Disneyland?
Yes.
of course.
Well, it's a big European, at least Disney World
And why is
a
that?
huge European.
Okay, first off, because
Because-
60% of the country is white. But
But it is realist.
I'm playing the role of
Probabilities
media,
and
of
hold on.
mainstream media
but here-
right
but-
now.
But what you're playing also is statistics, right? So when you look at socioeconomic breakdown of the country, right? There, when you look at it broken down by race, the truth of the matter is 60% of the country is white, and that means there are more people who are more well off socioeconomically, which means there are more people that are white that can afford Disney World and Disneyland than the minorities. That is purely
Correct.
statistical.
That's stats.
That is not
Yes.
a they okay, well,
That has nothing
Hispanics
to
and blacks,
do
have
with-
no business being in Disney World because they don't have money. That's not what we're saying.
Nope.
And you know what? There are plenty of wealthy Hispanics and blacks that do go to that park, and can't afford it, and absolutely right. I
But
mean, that's
Paul-
not what we're saying.
Paul,
It's a numbers game, is what I'm saying. It's
It is.
statistics.
and you cannot apply fact and
No.
logic
You cannot.
to idiots.
To wokeness.
I know you can't. I agree with that.
To wokeness. They don't follow facts.
Correct.
It's
Because
not a matter of what's right or wrong. It's a matter of can they get away with it.
right.
Correct.
All right. Well,
So
I don't
here's
need to
what
be-
I'm hoping. I'm hoping that all this wah shoots capitalism in their foot, and Disney becomes a little cheaper and more affordable to attend.
Because people boycott and don't go.
Yes,
It's
because and the
extremely
people
expensive.
who boycott and
It's
can't
terribly
go
expensive.
can't
crazy
afford to
expensive.
go.
I mean, how much
It's
does it cost
stupid.
for a family of 4 to go to Disneyland?
It's
Oh
like
my
$120 a day per ticket.
So I mean, but
That's for the ticket.
That's just for the
If you
entrance to the park.
So we went 10 years ago
Wow.
and it was $5,000. 10 years ago.
that's ridiculous.
Yep.
10 years
For
ago.
a family
So
of
How
four.
many
Four.
how many days did you go?
we were there for 6
we
days,
were on
5 days.
we were at the resort for I think 6 days, and we had 4-day park hopper tickets, which means
No, we
could-
didn't buy park hoppers.
We did.
I don't know. It doesn't
So,
matter.
so you stayed. Okay, first off, you stayed on the park,
On the
at the
park.
park, which is more expensive,
Correct.
and it's the better way to go. By the
Yeah.
way,
Well, if you don't stay on, then you're buying a car or Ubering.
That's right.
Which they didn't have Uber back
and
then.
then you did a fight to get in, and
Then you
gotta
pay
leave,
And you
parking.
have
and
to pay to park, which
I have
is
heard
like
that I've heard-
40,
yeah,
50 bucks.
I've heard that a million times. If you're going to go, make sure you stay,
Stay on
not
campus.
on
campus.
property.
Oh, on property. Thank you. On property.
Come on,
And,
get your
all right, so that
get
was a
your
little bit. So
terminology
that was a little bit
correct.
more to
Yeah.
do that.
But we had a kitchen, so we ate breakfast every morning.
And you had grilled cheese sandwiches,
No, we had eggs and bacon, and,
Bologna,
sometimes we
lunch
bologna.
meat. We have lunch
Jeff
meat at
is
home.
full of it.
top ramen.
We're not eating out at the park. We have lunch meat at
No,
home.
we
had
did.
head cheese.
No, we didn't. We did buy the meal plan,
Oh, nice.
which again contributed to the cost of it.
Of course.
But you're still spending money on food.
But
course.
What was the meal plan?
So the meal
Two
plan
meals a day.
basically,
Unlimited fries.
the one that we bought was
Free chips and salsa.
it was
All you can eat all day long.
one snack,
Lemon chills.
one fast meal, and one sit down meal.
What's a
So-
fast meal?
And they're all like,
Like a hamburger and fries.
yeah, I was going to
Hamburger
say,
and
and,
fries.
the,
Well,
and
you
the
just
food was
put it
like
at the
nothing
counter,
to
yeah.
write home about, right?
No.
It was nothing to write
No.
home about. And
Although the dinners were, the entrees
If-
at night were.
Really?
if we looked
Hardy?
at it,
Hardy man.
when we looked at it, I remember sitting at the cheeseburger and French fry restaurant
Sure.
in Fantasyland.
Over there by Space Mountain, yeah.
Yeah. It would have been for the four of us.
Right.
It would have been over $60
For burgers and fries.
for burgers and fries.
Right.
For lunch.
For lunch. For you.
And that would have been with two kids' meals.
Two kids' meals, right.
Because
thinking-
apparently
I'm thinking
my
4 adults at Whataburger, full meals,
Mhm.
about $10 a piece.
Well,
It would be
Brandon
$40
ate
bucks.
probably ate.
Well, no. The
enough
boys
as an
ate
adult.
adult meals.
Yeah.
They were 10 and 8. Or 8
So
and
that's
6.
not. I mean, if you think about it, Whataburger for your family right now would cost $40.
But Whataburger for my family right now
Probably
would
more.
fill my kids.
Oh, so they were tiny little portions and stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
And they were
that's
like, I need
crap.
more.
Yeah. They look they
Oh,
would
so
turn
they kept
to-
going.
they would turn and start looking at our food. And it's like,
Back off.
I'm going to tell you, I love my children. I would lay down my life for my children, but I will not give them my food.
Well, unless you're hungry, yeah.
I will not give them my food.
So you were like, you had your fork hovering in the air, and you were like, back off.
Yeah. So if
I
you guys,
do that today, and 19 and
Yeah,
21.
no, I like it. Good for you. You
I
got.
mean, I
fight,
do that to Jeff.
you got to fight
too.
for your survival around those kids.
I mean, we probably could have saved $800 by going with a cheaper hotel.
And we
Yeah,
probably
but-
could have saved $800 by going with a cheaper food option.
Well, like, cook everything yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Or-
that would
or-
have sucked.
Or
Yeah.
pack a lunch, or you
There's
know,
ways to get around it.
yeah. I mean,
But
if
we-
you
Yeah, but
stay,
$5,000
10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
Mhm.
Actually, more than
that
10 years.
Well,
is-
and
Right,
what do you
12
think it
years
is
ago.
now? What do you think it is now?
That was 12 years ago.
I think it would probably be between 8 and 10 grand
Really?
for a
a family
family
of
of
four.
4.
That includes
Holy
flights.
Shit, that's crazy for
That
6
includes
nights.
Flights. Yeah, it includes flights.
That includes airfare. Okay.
Airfare,
oh, that's something to
flights,
say.
transfer from the
Paul's like,
It's a lot of
hotel,
money, man.
Done.
That's a lot of money.
from the airport
is.
to the hotel. I mean, when you stay on,
Well, it was
on-
$5,000
on
for
what did I
Me,
say?
Preston,
On-site
On property?
resort?
Austin.
Property.
a week.
In Tahoe.
Like,
but you know
for
what's
that trip?
crazy? These places are packed.
Mm-hmm.
They're packed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like
Well,
it's not like
They
the
don't have to-
country can't afford it.
Hold
They
on
don't
a
have to
minute.
lower their prices because people pay it.
yeah.
I know it.
How
That's
many
what's
times
nuts,
have
right?
we been?
How many times?
Well, we've been once. Well, she and I have been a couple times, but as a family, we went once. It was
Yeah,
a one-time
we went.
thing.
We've gone one time as a family.
Right.
That's
did.
it.
We went to Disney World one time as a family.
there is.
and it was horrible.
It has no appeal to me.
I went to Disney World growing
I
up
don't want to go.
with Girl Scouts.
I mean,
my
I could
family
see going
never-
to like Six
never did it.
Flags.
yeah.
You'd enjoy it.
What? Well, I mean, of
Disney
course I
World, you
would,
did
but
So
I mean,
Sean, it's the
not
happiest.
$5,000
It's the
worth.
happiest place on earth.
But I
That's
tell you,
because they sell
shit,
alcohol now.
They do.
whoa.
But I tell you what.
Oh wait.
But
I'm
I tell you
in.
what. At the end of that,
It changes everything.
That
At-
changes everything.
at the end
Doesn't
of a
it?
Disney vacation,
Do they have Norris
you
Mill?
need a break.
Do they have a drink package?
Do they have Norris Mill?
They
Is
have,
it
they have
Ogden?
Graysons.
Is it Norris Mill or Grayson's? I need to know. Tell me now.
But seriously,
It's
I mean,
84.
All
it
you can
is-
drink Norris Mill.
Yeah,
I
in the middle of
went-
Disneyland, there's a Jack Tar Village.
I went during their in the fall. They have their wine and dine thing at Epcot.
Okay.
And we went and we ran a half marathon and we stayed on property. But, you know, you pay this exuberant amount of money to run a Disney
You
marathon.
paid money to
I-
run a half marathon.
Okay, I do that for everything. So we're
Wow.
not going to even touch that one.
Wow.
But um, there was nothing above and beyond with that.
Right.
We got entrance. So that's not true. I'm lying. The night of the marathon.
Okay.
So you get on the bus at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
to go run 13.1 miles
Right.
around Disney parks,
Which is beautiful.
which is great. You have to do it at 4 a.m. because there's nobody there to get in your way,
Right.
except all the other morons who don't know marathon etiquette,
Oh, okay.
So they fart on you.
like Sean just did.
I did wasn't me.
You lifted your cheeks.
That wasn't me.
You lifted your
He-
cheek.
He,
That wasn't
he
me.
went.
Do you have confirmation on the chip
No,
leak?
I may have lifted my
chip
cheeks,
leak.
but I didn't fart.
Chip leak.
That was not. That was probably your
that
husband.
sounds even
No,
worse.
you
I owed
lifted.
mine.
I watched you lift.
I may have lifted, but I did not fart.
Do we have a cheek lift or not?
Did I mean, I don't know.
We need to go back
I
over
think
the
I
video
did
footage.
this. I didn't lift my cheeks.
Mr. Producer, go back over the video footage. We're going to confirm
It's
whether or
just
not
so
we have a
common.
cheek lift.
He doesn't remember. He's just like,
Oh,
I didn't do
bullshit.
it.
it's
Okay,
just
first
like-
off, I'm not wearing pants, so
It's just like Jeff and his burping farting. He
No.
doesn't realize he does it.
Julie smelled the same thing I smelled.
I didn't smell
your
anything.
ass.
God, wow, how we get off track
So-
so
We
fast.
went from
I know.
Disney to
and this was
assholes.
your fault, Julie.
I
It was
know.
probably,
That was your
it's probably
fault.
No,
Julie's
he's
breath.
the one who lifted.
Wow,
Well, she's sitting right there. She probably breathed this general direction. I was like, oh, that's it.
there we go.
Nailed it.
He just threw down. Now we're getting ugly.
I mean,
Jeez.
if it's who stinks worse, it's all going to depend on where in the country we are.
Right, and
be
if you
Julie.
If
won
we're
a
in
half
a
marathon,
if
In
we're in a
Tahoe,
high
it'll be Julie.
elevation, I win.
Now we weren't allowed to talk about this.
What?
You're not allowed to talk about it. I can talk
What?
about
Yeah,
Where?
it.
that's
Where
true.
you guys stink the worst? What are we talking about
No.
here?
Well,
Yes,
never mind.
high
Just forget it.
elevation.
Yeah, in
Anywho,
Lake
So
Tahoe.
when we
to-
were in Lake Tahoe,
Lake Tahoe.
Julie smelled like
Death.
I mean, every time she left her room, it smelled like a refugee
it was
camp.
pretty
It was
rough.
just wretched.
Really?
Wretched.
I am
Hey,
not
by
going to
the
believe
way,
that. I'm
that's
just,
a timestamp.
so we talked about it last week.
Imagine-
You guys were huffing and puffing and dying and sweating and
Take
you,
it from the horse's
you,
mouth.
you were literally okay.
You just
It
called
was-
your wife a horse.
I
It's
know.
bad.
He'll deal with that later. I'll deal with that later.
Yeah, yeah. Repercussions.
He'll pay for that later. But
This is why we don't have our wives
She's
on
gonna be like,
podcasts.
somebody's been naughty.
You're next. By the way.
Oh, I don't know now. We'll see how this goes with Julie, and then I'll decide if
Well,
my
she's
wife.
been on before, and it went. It was good.
Who's your little porta potty?
What?
What was that?
Yeah.
There was an awkward silence. I love that. We've never had that long a silence on this podcast.
Just like
Was
it was
anybody
computing.
else
It was like, I was like,
we all like,
what?
what did he just say?
and did it make sense?
No.
No,
Well,
absolutely
most
not.
of what he said doesn't make sense.
I was thinking like the porta potty.
You were thinking
Falling
that was the
over.
problem.
Oh, you were okay. Well, no, I thought you were talking about the you. No, you were,
okay.
hold
I'm
on.
gonna give it to him
Okay, go.
in Tahoe. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's how bad it is.
It's deadly.
yeah.
it's rough. I'll own it.
It's rough. She'll own it. She'll own it. I love that. I love
I
that.
will
We need
own
more
that.
podcasters
Thank
that own
God
it.
I was only exposed to a few exposures, but
He's
still
lying. We
have
went
them.
to Colorado.
Of your
I still have the
of your
mustard
high.
gas
oh,
burns.
that was
Julie-
just
hold
that was
on, are
just
we-
Preston that had to deal with Colorado.
I didn't go to Colorado.
Colorado, yeah, Preston did.
Yeah, that was Preston.
What was
Yeah,
he
that's
doing?
all right.
What was he
Preston
doing in
deserved it.
Colorado?
We went the
Preston
year
has
before.
taken vacations with us since 4th grade.
Oh, you guys did the Pikes Peak.
We did we did a bunch of shit,
No,
but yeah,
we
Pikes
didn't.
Peak. We did Pikes Peak. Yes, we did.
There's all kinds of cool things to do in Colorado. In
Yeah,
Pikes
we did
Peak,
Pikes Peak.
by
With
the-
with
We took
Preston.
the
they've got
train up.
Garden of the Gods.
thought so.
We did Garden of the Gods. That's where they climbed.
The boys climbed some rock formations, and
Huge
Pre-
boulders. and
Preston asked me on top of the rock,
high, like
high,
High.
like
Some
everybody heard. He asked if I could get him a change of pants.
change of underwear, and everyone
I mean,
started laughing.
Everybody heard.
Wow.
This
Oh,
wasn't
screamed
like
and it was legit request. He wasn't trying to be silly or funny. It
no,
was legit.
no, he was being,
He was being Preston.
but they were high
They-
up there.
like
Oh, I thought you were going to
Jeff took-
say.
no.
They were
Jeff-
high.
Jeff took a picture of
there.
me.
Rocky Mountain.
High. Colorado.
Don't either of you kill that song. But Jeff took a picture of me with the mountain. Yes, with the mountain behind me.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking. All right.
Now
So there's a small
And
zoom
there's
in on
picture
the
of
mountain.
Julie
And
in the
there's little
front, and
ants on the top of
in
that
the
mountain.
background.
Zoom in.
There's the boys. all
Keep
the way on
zooming.
Yeah,
The
there's
boulder. Yeah,
there's
zoom
one-
way in.
there's
Yeah.
one ant that's
Way in.
hanging by his hands on the edge of the mountain. That's kind of
Alright.
awkward. I
They
wonder-
they
That
mountain
was their
climbed
rock
that.
rock.
Did you
climbing
see that
That's
picture?
what they
Never
were
seen
doing?
that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he was up there
Of course.
and hollered
That's what
about
happened.
needing a change of pants.
Julie. I need pants. I need pants. I
So
need
that's
pants, I
Preston,
need
Stephen, and Brandon and their guide, and they free
Guide?
climbed that.
And Preston and
Nice.
Steven were bigger than the dude.
Of
I mean,
cour-
Brandon is always bigger than.
Of course, rock climbers are generally smaller, lean dudes.
That they
That's how it
they
works.
repelled off the side of that
Nice.
down.
Good for
They
them.
repelled off the side.
Repelled down that side right there,
Oh, that's cool.
all the way down.
It
How
was
much
pretty
that little
cool.
thing cost?
$6.
$5,000.
It didn't matter. It was a once. I mean, when we do these little trips, we usually end up doing something that costs more than
You know
what we would pay
it's-
here locally.
It's memories.
But it's something that we're not going to do
Exactly.
here locally.
It's memories.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless it's
I'd love to-
white water rafting.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was at some place today in Fort Worth, big boulders like that. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Well, that Garden of the Gods. I mean, it was probably. I mean, that rock is far away too, so it doesn't look as high in that picture than it really was.
Well,
Right.
Garden
I
of
was
the Gods.
very
there's
impressed.
one of the features that stands out to me when I lived in Colorado. Frankly, there's only really one, and it's that huge boulder where you can actually climb up under it, where it's like can crush you. I mean, it's a it's a big boulder. So,
So one of these days it's going to break free and crush someone.
eventually, it's one of those boulders
It's like hanging by a thread
that
at the bottom.
during the Ice Age when
Like a
it
mammoth?
iced over, the ice when it freezes, it migrates over and it moves
sloth.
these big boulders.
Mhm.
And it had moved this boulder so much that it had made itself round, one. And then two, when it finally had stopped, I mean, there you can literally crawl up. It probably had
Is it balancing?
probably a 6 foot in diameter.
The boys probably climbed it.
That was
Probably.
tangent to the ground.
Right.
All right.
Or
But
cotangent.
the circumference of the whole entire boulder
Tangent or
Sine
was huge.
Well, no, sine and cosine.
like 25 foot
Logarithm.
not circumference but diameter. It was like a huge boulder, and you crawl in there and it seems like it's going to crush you at any second.
It probably will.
It could.
That's what I remember from the
That is your memory of Colorado?
of the Garden of the Gods
Of
in
co-
Colorado.
tangents and cotangents.
What really?
He's
You gotta
out there
pull
with
up
a
the word
protractor.
tangent because
Sean, are they always like this?
Yes.
it's a beat
We're
down.
very disrespectful to Sean. It's because mathematically he struggles in that.
I do.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He says cosine. He
Oh,
means
come on.
sine.
And what he
means
meant was
sine.
parallel.
No,
Yes.
I meant
He meant-
tangent. I meant tangent. That's
meant-
exactly where I meant.
So what does tangent mean?
But
Yeah.
tangent means that point where you have a line that
Is
like-
tangent?
A tangent to a circle
Yes.
is a line
Yes.
that lies
I nailed it.
Well,
in
hold
the
on.
plane. Oh,
And it
okay.
dissects
That
equally.
intersects a circle
Hold
at
on.
an exact
it
one point.
It dissects perpendicularly the perniculum.
There you go.
You had
Yes.
to bring that up.
I did. I'm sorry. Because perniculum sounds very geometry-like.
It does.
No, it
it's
really
very
the
doesn't
point
it?
of
It ends in
geometric.
Cologne.
tangency is the point at which the
It ends in
tangent
Cologne.
touches the circle.
Yes. You have a
Cologne.
round
Sean?
circle around the crotch area.
Sean,
Yeah.
Austin, I'm sorry.
What?
I know. It's outrageous.
For you and my husband.
What?
Yes, it's
No.
outrageous.
What
That's
hap-
what I am apologizing
I
For
for.
what?
Did you just fart again?
No.
Oh.
I'm
God.
apologizing for
breath?
their peniculum.
Talk.
Yeah. You know what?
Yes.
If you come to the podcast more often, or if you listen, you'll come to realize there's nothing to apologize for
This is normal.
because we're all awful
What comes around
all
goes
the
around.
time.
Yeah,
It
we all
definitely-
get it.
definitely comes
But
around. I
hey,
can
walking
promise
away
you
from
that.
this, we
Hold
can
on,
all
hold
agree
on.
that my vocabulary was correct.
A
in this.
tangent.
Hold on.
Yes.
What do you mean this
Well done.
this
Suck
this
it,
during
suck
this
it.
during
Let's do our
this
suck it routine.
suck it.
Whoa.
Suck it.
Suck it.
No, you're supposed to do. We're doing.
Oh.
Not gag.
No, we're doing suck it, suck it, suck it.
No, it's to be fair.
I know. Let's do that instead.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we were talking
It's different.
about Disney, or did
No.
we move on from that?
No.
No,
Yeah,
well,
we're done
there's
with
there's a
Disney.
lot of things from Disney
F
we were going to
Disney.
talk about.
We're done.
Or were we?
Are we not done?
And also with you.
Well, we were talking about we were getting to Bad Batch.
I haven't
Oh,
even heard of Bad
I
Batch.
watched that
Well,
at lunch
nobody
today.
has.
It was actually pretty good.
So there, do you recall in Disney where they have the Clone Wars? Not
The Stormtroopers.
Not to be not talking about the main movies. They released a series of cartoons.
It was animated.
Yes, I know.
animated
Clone Wars.
Wars,
Okay.
and
I never watched any of it.
it's basically the clone soldiers, which are stormtroopers.
Okay.
They reproduce these.
Oh, they were the first batch that was
thousands
bad.
and thousands of
no,
clones.
they had flaws.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Bad
so,
Batch.
So they had they had flaws. So they became their own little battalion.
They became a bad batch.
And it's actually
Yeah.
good. It's kind of an adult animation, so it's good.
So it's like The Simpsons,
no.
or
well,
Well,
adult,
adult.
or North
Like
Park,
you would
or
probably enjoy it.
what-
South Park.
Park.
Yes, you would probably enjoy it
Direction.
because it's got a
place.
really good story.
but it's not silly, crude humor.
no, not at all.
Right.
No, it's yes,
not
it's
a
animated, but it's a
satire,
Star
it's-
Wars
yeah.
story.
Jeff, have you seen
Mm.
the Clone Wars the animation?
I've seen about 10 episodes. I haven't
Is
watched
it
all.
similar?
It's exact.
So this is fantastic. The
But
other ones were good.
this is more grown up. I think this is more
Julie, you
adult.
don't have to
What
raise
does
your
that?
hand.
What does that make it more? What makes it more grown up?
just the story and the topic.
Damn. Happening
Julie
over
had
there.
a
The story and the topic, right?
Okay.
It's not a stupid
So they talk about
cartoon.
transgender and
It is. It's
Stuff like
transgender
that.
Oh my
and
God! Did they talk about that?
of
intersectionality.
course, very adult topics.
Did they have any two guys kissing in it? Is it? Did they have every goddamn
No, well,
Netflix
here's the thing.
fucking
No.
sponsored movie
Time
has
out.
to have two guys kissing?
It wasn't two guys kissing. It was a guy that wants to be a girl kissing another guy.
It was
That's
actually
different.
Look,
it was
I
a
don't
guy
give
That's
who wanted to be.
different.
It's so.
It was a guy who wanted to be an alien.
A guy that wants to be an alien
Trans
who
alien.
identifies as
No.
not a non-alien.
There was-
So Gina
there's-
Carano was rehired by Disney after she identifies as an abusive male director.
And
No,
boom.
no. There's none of that.
No. So
I
That's
didn't
a
pick up.
satire, but
Another
I
that's
didn't
one
pick up
wonderful.
any of that PC shit.
So, no, another one of the pieces of news that I got today with my my whole Sleeping Beauty. What was the other Disney news I brought to the table?
I don't know.
I can't get over this headline. You got to read
Gina
it again.
Carano rehired by Disney after she identifies as an abusive male director. News at 11.
That's funny.
No, but Brian told me that she's going to be rehired. They're going to rehire her.
No,
No, they're
what's,
not.
no. What's going to happen is she made an
Oh.
episode with Bear Grylls, and when
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
when
Bless
she
you.
got
That was ferocious.
Violent.
Julie, bless you.
God.
Anyway, what happened is when she got canned from The Mandalorian, she had it done a Bear Grylls, where he does that, what they take him way out and can you survive with me?
Right.
So she did an episode with them, and they canceled that as well. And what they've done over the last couple of days, like earlier this week, maybe last week, is they reinstated that and says, okay, we'll show it now. Because I think they're starting to get a lot of pressure. So it may ultimately mean she's back on The Mandalorian, but not yet.
If I were her, I would give him the finger.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
so
me?
if Disney comes to her
No.
and says,
Oh, big
hey,
time.
you're
No.
back.
She's got to have. Look,
She's lining.
all
No, she's
Star
lining
Wars
up with new.
fans-
I'd ask
production?
for some serious
all
cash.
Star Wars fans
Mhm.
want her.
I know,
Mhm.
but she's
So there
lining up
comes a
with new
point-
production companies, and she's moving on to
Yeah,
new.
no, I don't think
bigger-
she's moving on.
Oh man.
I think there's plenty of opportunity, but look, her fans want her
in that
to
role.
do another
Yeah.
season or two in The Mandalorian.
And you know what? The best thing she could do is give them the finger and have the fans of that bullshit
I
Disney
disagree.
give them the finger and be like, you know what? This is their fault.
Lick your wounds, move on.
No way.
Probably what's going to happen is
No
they
way.
invite her back and then kill her off is what would happen.
Probably. I could see that happening.
Well, and that would be respectful and
Disney's-
probably realistic because
Yeah.
she
Like
does
that.
die.
Nah. I'd be very disappointed if she accepts this offer.
Because
If they threw enough money at her, she would do it.
I still disagree.
I agree.
This is principle, 100% principle.
It is at this point.
And she is very principled.
So she's not.
She's a very principled woman. She has been on record.
well, she made a post on Twitter about the vaccine.
Yeah,
She was just like, "Hey, man,
she's
why
very
don't
principled.
you mail the vaccine to my house? I'll administer it to myself, and I'll let you, and I'll send my little return paper back, just like how we do voting.
Right. Oh yeah. No, yeah.
You know,
I'm telling you, she's very principled, man. And so I would be shocked if she takes this deal.
She's not back on The Mandalorian yet. They're going to show the Bear Grylls, which should be pretty good because she's pretty much of a badass.
What are you talking about? Yeah, she's a UFC fighter.
Yeah, she's a badass and American Gladiator. So she's not back yet, but they're slowly getting there.
Okay. Now hold on. Isn't this bear?
Well, he's gotten busted himself.
Yeah, he stayed in a hotel.
Yeah, he looks like he's all remote, but he's like, yeah, I'm in a hotel.
Yeah, he's like, oh, dude, it's cold out here. We're gonna go stay in a hotel tonight.
You know
I don't know why I sound like a New Jersey guy, but
yeah,
because he's Australian, right?
No, he's British, I believe.
Roar.
I remember I watched one where he was in I can't remember, obviously the desert, and he split open a camel and climbed inside of it.
Oh, shut up.
No,
like
That-
in Star Wars.
That reminds me
Yes,
of
he
an
actually did it on the show.
It was
Ew.
the camel was alive.
No,
Before he killed
gutted
it,
He
yes.
gutted it,
He killed a camel.
and then climbed inside of it.
How did animal rights activists not freak out on that deal?
I don't know. He did it. I watched it. I saw that episode. Not that I've seen a lot of his
So he
episodes.
killed a camel, crawled inside of it. They took pictures of it, and then he
I
went
think
to
it was
the,
already dead.
and then he went to the Hampton Inn.
Yes. Well, he climbed in it, and then they showed him climbing back out
The
of
hell!
it.
I went to go pee, and you guys are killing camels. What the fuck's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, Grill Borellis,
Close.
whatever.
Yeah. So he. So anyway.
Yeah, I heard
so,
someone crawling in a camel.
Yeah, Bear Grylls did that. Kind of like Tauntaun at Luke Skywalker.
More like Jim Carrey. I mean, what's
Oh yeah, very much like that. He falls out the butthole.
That was up the rhino, right?
yeah?
Yeah, he
well,
falls
hippo,
out.
rhino.
He falls out the butthole.
No, that was
That
that
was
was
a
an
fucking
elephant. That was an
hilarious
elephant
scene.
asshole he was in.
No,
Well, he was in a rhino,
he was in a rhino,
robotic rhino.
Why
And
do
he-
I feel like this is a
and he gets really
Ace
hot. Remember?
Ventura
The hydraulics?
conversation?
Yeah, he gets really hot inside, and he tries to get out of there, and it comes out the asshole.
I thought he was in an elephant ass as well.
I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
it sat on him
If
or
Mr.
something.
Producer was
Producer,
paying
could you,
attention right
I
now,
don't
he would
know.
be
I
looking
think
up.
we ought to just move on.
He would be looking it up, but that's okay.
Hey, so can I tell about my traumatic Saturday night?
If you like.
Oh,
Or is this a good
Ace
time to
Ventura
lead
Pet
into
Detective
a
Part 2.
break and then when we come
No,
back?
we got about 15 minutes, so that's perfect timing.
oh yeah. Go into your
Well,
story.
My story
Yeah,
is
no.
going to
So
take
you
longer
were-
than
you
15
were
No,
working.
no,
Yeah,
no.
well, no.
Yeah,
that's
actually,
plenty
15
of
minutes
time.
is a lot longer than you think.
It is,
So she-
actually.
You were working.
This is very traumatic.
this was
Okay.
this was a baseball game. We're not gonna.
No.
Oh,
Soccer.
this was a soccer game.
A soccer game.
A football.
Football.
Foosball.
No, football.
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 It's rugby.
Soccer.
Soccer.
Okay, soccer works.
So working the soccer
She was
game.
working it.
Nice.
The
What kind of
pole.
game is this? I
It's
like
the pole. She's working
Yeah,
the pole.
she distracted
Woo!
somebody, and this
Work
dude
it.
walked into a door.
Okay, hold on. She's got limited time here. Go.
I guess.
All
She
right.
has 15
so-
minutes.
Stop interrupting me. I
14.
am not Paul, nor am I Jeff. No interrupting.
She's going to command respect.
She does, too. She has the power.
You're losing it.
Thank
Quickly
you, honey.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
that-
So game ends. Game ends.
All right.
They close the garage doors that
Yeah,
close
yeah.
our bar.
The steel curtain.
No, they were glass,
Oh.
and
It's close.
Damn.
and one of them wouldn't
Damn it.
close. We originally thought it was because stupid people kept trying to come in as the doors were closing. That
Yes.
wasn't the case. So they ended up calling maintenance. Maintenance comes. Two guys come. They bring their ladder. One of them goes up the ladder.
Well, hold on. What are they doing? They're trying to raise the doors?
They're
Trying
yes,
to lower.
the door. One of the wheels was off track.
Oh, okay.
So hindsight's 2020.
Yes.
We now know the wheel was off the track.
Okay.
So everybody's going about their business because we have shit to do to close
Yeah, you're
down the
cleaning
bar.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take the floor mat and I go back around the corner and we hear this loud.
Oh.
So I come around and I'm like, careful. You know, I'm looking around. I see the guy standing a ladder back up. I wash my hands, and this all probably transpires in 5 seconds.
Right.
But it feels like 20 minutes.
Of course.
Because as I'm washing my hands or finishing washing them, somebody says, he's bleeding. Somebody get a paper towel.
The guy that set the ladder back up and is getting back on it.
He pitched.
No. There was two guys.
Oh.
One
so
guy,
number one picked up the ladder. Guy number two was on the ladder.
guy number two was not on the ladder.
Well, he started on the ladder.
Oh, so he just
He fell off the ladder
And he is where?
on the floor, bleeding.
Oh.
Profusely.
And the other guy
Well, it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
says
the
the show
one
must go on.
he had a
who's
ha-
who
he
is
had
the
a
one who
hangnail.
said he's bleeding. Somebody get a paper towel. Well, I'm a mom, and training goes to the extreme.
Right.
Just kind of get a tissue, lick it, and
Yeah.
Stick it on there.
Why a tissue? Lick your thumb.
Did you? Do that?
I grabbed these professional paper towels that we have, not the brown pieces
Right,
of
the
right.
non-absorbent.
Heavy duty
but like
stuff.
Bounty.
Right.
A
Paper
maxi
towel.
pad
Very
would've been good.
absorbent. You said.
Very. So I grab this
Especially for
pile
blood.
and I go running because, you know, there's blood and somebody help.
Was it like the Lara Croft?
So slow
Tomb
motion.
Raider.
Yes, because she had this thing going on too, Sean.
To
she
and
ran.
fro. They were going to and fro.
So I get there.
That's so bad.
Okay.
So I get there, and like every
She knows
TV show that she's got nothing on me. Every TV show you've ever seen,
Oh no.
what y'all can't see is Jeff smiling very proudly.
I know.
Show you've ever seen, somebody gets shot,
just
the
threw
pool
up.
of blood
Yes.
just slowly gets bigger and bigger.
So he's literally still laying on the ground.
He's still laying on the
Is
ground.
he conscious?
I am watching said pool of blood get bigger and bigger.
What the heck?
He has a gash
Oh.
across the back of his head, and it is bleeding. Now, head wounds bleed.
They do.
Head wounds
Did you ever
bleed.
find out what the head
Profusely.
bounced off of?
We did not find out what his head bounced off of. There was a screwdriver nearby. There was a table with corners. There was the ladder, of course. There was
Good
A
thing
trash
Was,
screwdriver
can.
didn't
was a hot
impale
dog?
his
Was there a
brain.
hot dog tray that
there
you
was
need to
not.
clean?
There was not.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have needed to clean it because I don't do food. I just do beverages.
Right.
Booze.
So
Booze.
I grab his head.
Wow,
Nice.
you like poked my eyeball out.
I probably poked his eyeball out
So
too.
you're keeping him from bleeding to death.
Yes.
Did you have to?
That might
Did
be.
you have to pull a
Yeah,
joint out?
like no, really.
Did you have to piece his head back together?
All
What
I
the
did,
hell?
Was there
You're
meat?
holding his head.
I am holding his head because there was
There was
a lot
There was an
of blood.
astounding amount of blood.
There
so you
really
were trying
was.
to apply pressure.
I was applying pressure. And he's trying to wiggle away from me because I'm holding his head so tightly.
Because he's like, dude, chill, woman. Like this is you're being like,
no,
crazy.
because
It hurts.
there was a lot of blood, and he fell off a ladder. So
6 feet.
he thinks he's okay, and we're like,
Right, because he's a male.
and the other maintenance guy, the other maintenance guy is like, Jeff, you've got to be still.
She's
You
like,
got to be
"Uh-huh."
still.
Because guys are stupid.
So his
They
name
are.
was
We
his
are.
name was
we are. We're
Jeff.
stupid. We
And
we
one of the-
underplay everything.
Yes, and one of the first things I asked him, "Did you lose consciousness?" Is I'm holding his head and I'm crushing his head. I'm holding it so
Crushing.
hard.
Yeah,
Hans and Franz.
yeah.
Gloveless.
So she's now
God,
Nice. So you now have COVID.
boy, if I had a nickel,
what, bloodless?
no,
Hold on,
gloveless.
Can
Oh,
you spread
gloveless.
COVID by,
Gloveless?
Gloveless.
Can you spread COVID by brain?
She's already had
I
it.
don't.
by brain
yeah,
blood?
I had COVID
By
already.
gray
I
matter?
wasn't
Brain
really worried.
blood.
So wow, Jeff.
Wow. That you know what? That's just
What?
obscene.
Rude.
What's going on?
So I'm holding this
his
guy's
burps
head.
are
How you
about
gonna do
as
it?
violent as his farts.
I'm holding his head, and people start coming, and they're like,
Whoa.
"Where are the gloves? Where are the gloves?" And they're putting on the gloves, and they're holding them on top of my hands, and they're like, "Okay, we got it, and I'm like, "No, I'm good, thanks." No, it's okay. Then put gloves on. I'm like, "No, I'm
I'm
good."
already bloody.
Yeah, I mean, I got
Well,
I got
and
blood all the
you're
way up to
keeping
my.
his brain inside of his skull. At
Well,
this
I
point.
don't know, but there was so much blood.
He was freaking you out.
It really kind of was, and I mean, we're now on Tuesday, and I'm still
So how long
dwelling
did it
on
take to
this.
get
I don't
somebody there
blame
to
you. I
relieve
don't
you?
blame
So
you. That,
they
that's
called.
creepy.
They called and they said we need the EMTs to come down here. Well, they're already gone. They're no longer on site. Now the whole where
911.
where exactly are
Really?
y'all
That was a good
conversation
burp, though.
Wow.
felt like it went on
It's voluptuous.
way too freaking
911.
long.
What are you talking about? 911. Boom.
Well, but so it took 15, 20 minutes. What felt like 15, 20 minutes. It could have been 5.
That's a long time, though.
It doesn't matter. I'm standing here crushing his skull. But he did finally wiggle to the point where I did have to let go of his forehead, but I'm still pressing the back of his head. So now he's sitting like this.
Was he like, "I'm good, get off me," or was he like freaking out? Or
He wasn't freaking out because he didn't see how much blood
right?
was on the floor. And so his peers like, dude, you have to stop moving. You
Right.
have to be still. And so the more people that got there, they're like, sit still, sit still.
Right. So he started listening. Right.
He did. He did. But it was really funny because they said, who's the president? And everybody started laughing. I want to know what the look on his face was. But I heard, that guy.
Donald J. Trump.
Fucking Biden.
Donald J. Trump.
All I heard was, that guy.
You want the real one or the
That's what he
fake
said.
one?
That guy.
Somebody said it. I don't.
Oh, funny.
I couldn't see who was
So
talking.
they said Harris.
I don't know. Anywho,
Kamala Harris,
so
Stacey Abrams.
EMT finally gets there. They're like, okay, let go, and I'm like not letting go until they're like standing right there,
Right.
and I'm,
Right.
but,
Until they take over.
But as you process through things, I've realized that his head was not bleeding when I moved my hand.
Nice. You saved his life.
I stopped the bleed.
Yes, of course. That you apply pressure. That's what you do because you crushed his skull.
I did. I crushed his skull.
I bet it was a good workout too.
It was, and at some point in time, somebody said
Were you sore today?
I was sore on Sunday. Yes.
Literally from holding his head.
Well,
with
my-
that
well-
Probably
compression.
tension
and,
as well.
and I was
Yeah,
leaning
well,
over,
yeah,
and
tension.
so somebody said, give him something to lean against. So I moved my body behind him so he could lean against me, all the while trying not to slip on
On the
all of the
blood.
blood that's
Ugh.
all over the
So you're
freaking
basking
floor.
in it.
Basking. It was like a cult ritual.
It
So
was.
much blood
Wow.
everywhere.
Then she got nude and rolled around there.
Wow,
Ooh.
nice.
Did you make any
That's
wishes?
exactly no time out. That's exactly what you do in a cult ritual.
Did you
It's
make
just
wishes?
covered head to toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Especially
So,
when you don't have to
what's
pay for
what's
the blood.
verdict today?
So Sunday, I text. I'm
Yes.
like, do we know how Jeff's doing? And it takes a while because several people had to be texted. They did a CT scan. It was normal.
Right.
They gave him some staples and sent him home,
And they said there's some abnormal handprints on his skull.
front and back.
You have handprints on
You
your
have-
forehead.
You
Yeah,
have
he's
handprint
palm
impressions on the actual
Look like
skull.
someone set their
He's
nutsack on
bruised.
your forehead.
He is bruised from my grip.
Well, I guess better to
bet.
be safe than sorry, right?
I
Because if you
bet.
just would have let him there, he probably would have bled out.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
maybe.
there
If
was
that's
so
that much
much
blood
blood.
coming out.
Well, it
But-
definitely would have been
Did-
difficult.
Did they say how big the gash was?
She
haven't
was
Staples.
about
asked. Let me
7 foot
ask.
tall.
You said staples, right?
Staples.
Oh yeah, but was
That's
is
what
that
they
like
do to the head, though.
is
Yeah,
that
they're little-
this big or is
little
it that
staples.
big or
Yeah.
I mean, could you see a skull? Could you
So I
like
think this whole thing
How many
goes.
staples?
I think this whole story goes back to
Disney.
brain.
Don't
no,
drink while you're at
hu-
work.
No, head wounds just bleed a lot. That's all.
They really do.
No big deal.
So here is
big deal.
Don't-
Just let it go.
exactly.
Don't drink while you get on a ladder.
it'll clot?
Clot. All right. Well, that was a great story, but it
Hold
took
on.
more than 15 minutes.
I told you.
It did not. It took 14 minutes.
Hey, before we get off this,
Yes.
why would the FBI choose
Were we ever on
not
this?
to take?
We were not on the FBI
Hold
ever.
on. Why would the FBI choose not to take the hard drives from the laptop of Hunter,
Hunter
Biden?
Biden.
From Giuliani because they don't
And
want
I
it
tell
And
you
they
right
take
now,
everything else.
You know why?
Even though it said on the warrant, take all devices.
You know why.
because then it's an evidence and it's official.
And guess what?
And that can be the conversation that starts the second
And
half of
guess
the
who
show.
guess who it harms? Yeah, that
I don't know
guy.
who.
Bidden.
So
it was
what
rhetorical.
what I was told was he went to the hospital last night. CT scan was good. Got some staples, and he went home last night.
Excellent. Well, that's a story that ends well.
well,
For
so
him,
far,
I'm like traumatized
fired?
by it.
I know.
I think you need to see him again.
yeah,
I am
that'll help.
seriously traumatized by this.
I think you need to see him and see that he's okay.
because she prevented it
She saved
potentially.
his life.
I mean, there's a lot that could have happened.
There
you
is a
lose
lot
too
that
much
could happen.
blood. Shit, there's a lot of things that can happen.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, how many pints of blood do you have in your body?
11.
7.
6.
What the fuck is going on here? All right,
I went with
you have-
7.
Producer,
I went with 7.
I believe there's 8.
You
I
said
believe
6.
there's
No,
8
no, no.
as
You
well.
said
I said
6.
I
did
said
say 6.
11.
I
You
believe
said
there's
11.
8.
I believe there's 8.
So
8 pints of blood.
you think there's 8.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end this segment with how many pints of blood there are in a human body. And if we all underbid,
I
I
said
think
8.
we should.
I told you 8.
No, you.
Well,
Well,
we have a problem.
the average man, 10 pints.
No.
We have a
8 to
problem.
10.
Hold on, there's a range here. 8 to 10.
Chicks have 6
So,
to 7.
time out. I said 7, I'm out.
But
You
there-
said
but there's-
6, you're out. You said 11. You're out.
I said 8.
So looking at
Bingo.
this, there's-
Sean
hey,
wins this segment.
There's
But
no
no, I
wait
win
a
it
minute.
because I've donated 19
It
gallons.
doesn't
minute.
matter.
There's no difference
What?
between men and women. So shouldn't they all carry the same amount of blood?
No, because women
But there is. Women's body has
6 to 7.
Well, I
6
don't
to
have
7
that much
pints.
blood because I identify as a woman.
Yeah. So now I only have 6 pints because I'm a girl.
Okay,
So
hold on.
there's
It
that.
has to do
That's
with
amazing.
weight.
And the guy that
people.
fell off the ladder also identifies as a woman, so I win 7.
His name was Jeff, and he was 50 years old.
Oh, that's like me.
Oh,
Oh,
that sounds just like me too.
Yes.
There's a little bit of why I'm traumatized.
That
Well,
was
you-
his name.
All right,
compressing
since he
his head.
identifies as a woman, Jeff, and you and I are right because you said 6, I said 7. Both of you are wrong, and that ends this segment. Where's the
So-
music?
So I win.
Yeah, but how many? So what? How many pints of blood do you need to
There it
lose? How many pints? Do you think it was like 1 pint?
Probably.
At
I mean,
least a pint.
Yeah, you could probably lose 2. to
Maybe we
3
do that
pints.
investigation and say, how
I
much
dr-
blood can you lose
So here's
before
the
you
thing.
die?
I drink a pint of goat's blood every week, and it's a lot. It's more than you think.
Where do you harvest these the goat blood from?
Where I harvest it from.
Yeah,
Your neighbor?
do you have a neighbor that has the goats?
What?
Where do you? Is there a goat farm next to the
I go to goat.
church?
I go to goat.com,
Oh.
and they directly ship. By the way,
All right.
UPS.
All right. We'll be back.
Wow,
We're going to go
wheels
down.
What
off.
happens
Wheels off on this segment. By the way,
We were all over the place.
all over the place.
We had 100 and I don't where the fuck
Is that
the
what it
bottle-
was?
We had 119.4 proof shot, and we followed it
With water.
a
With water.
100.1.
No, we didn't.
And beer.
Okay,
100.1 proof.
here's we got to gather ourselves for the next segment because that was out of control.
Got it. All right.
We'll see you.
We'll be back.
Yeah.